Happy Aloha Wednesday. Yeah, you know what? Every day of the week should be Aloha something or other. And yes, dogs quieted down. I got Sleuth backstage, and she is my proof that they got noisy the moment I started talking. Then they calmed down. Now they're starting up. They're starting to growl. And so here, let me give them a treat real quickly. But anyhow, hello, gang. Both Sleuth and I were just over hanging out over at PJ's, and I see we got PJ coming on over here with the crowd. And guys, please go check over at her thing. In fact, I'm going to share that live out a little later so people can get some updates. We're going to talk a little bit about Madalena a little too also today. But right now, keeping her information out is important. But in the meantime, before I say hi to everyone, I want to bring up Sleuth in because I want to. I'm going to. Hello, Sleuth. How you doing, my dear?
I'm doing good. How are you, Lokomai?
I wanted to bring you up, so I'm just going to bring you up. I don't care what anyone says. I'm going to bring you up whenever I want to. That's all. So, how you doing?
In the chat, like, please don't bring Sleuth Mom up here.
No, don't. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, what a day. I know a lot of the places on the mainland are getting heat waves. I know we have a tropical storm outside right now. Well, we're just getting the rain from it, not heavy winds or anything. How's your weather been?
You know what? It's been raining like on and off this week, but we also have the air quality warnings again from the Canada fires. So we've been dealing with that. And don't you know, it was sunny all afternoon, and then it was time for Junior's baseball game. Downpoured, and literally as soon as he called and canceled it, not even 3 minutes later, it stopped raining again. I was like, this poor girl. She's only got one more game day. Today was already a makeup day. And so she's just,
It was all set by the government. The government changed the. Okay, no, I'm playing.
Yeah, no, it was me. Yes. I called in a favor. I was like, please let me finish this press conference on this crazy Carly case.
Oh my God. Yes, exactly. Oh my God, you sent me that reel earlier today, and I almost played that reel today because it was one of the funniest things. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, you should. Everybody needs to see it. It was freaking hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Actually, I should have pulled it up. Maybe later on before we're done. If I remember to do that, don't let me forget. Maybe we'll do that because it's always fun to end on a little laugh at the end of the day, especially on something like that. So let's say hi to a couple people. We had, first of all, Jessica, which, yes, Jessica was posted last night that she's in the same vicinity as the Amber Alert from last night. So we're going to have an update on that, but thank God it all turned out okay. But hi, Jessica. And then we've got Chris. Hello, Mr. Chris, and in the bushes. How are you, my dear? Let's see. Seal. Gotta have Seal here. What a day. Yeah. Today is, I can't keep on top. Sleuth, are you even keeping on top of everything that's going on right now? I've given up. I'm nuts. I can't do
like it. In YouTube world or in like life, because
oh my
I'm gonna
God.
tell you, I started watching YouTube world and then I lost track of life. So who knows what's going on in current events right now? Because I've just been watching a dumpster fire roll down the road currently on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I've gotten to the point, and there's so many different dumpster fires. I'm just like, I need to focus on my real life before my life becomes a dumpster fire. I really don't need that happening. So, but oh my God, it's nuts. Yeah, it's crazy out there, Seal. Absolutely nuts. So who else we got here? I'm going through the list. PJ. Hey, PJ girl. And let's
stay in your little abyss, in your bubble. Stay there, girl. Stay there.
You guys, if you're staying by what you do, what your passion is, the reason why you're doing it, remembering why you were doing it to begin with, you're golden. You're golden in my eyes because you know what? You're following what your heart is telling you to follow. And I'll just drop it there. Put it that way. So, let's see. We said hi to Miss PJ and Tammy. How you doing, Tammy? I hope you're doing well. And, yeah, my Tammy. And Ramblin'. How you doing, Ramblin'? This lady. Oh, I don't know which lady you're talking about, but there's quite a few that I say it exactly that way. This lady. Hi, Sleuth. How you doing? So, oh my gosh, no, we need Tim out here, and then we can start that whole thing. Yep. Oh my Lanta, you got it. Dynamite, Donna, how you doing, Donna? We got a whole group here today. Hope has popped in. Hello, Miss Hope. And awesome. I think we got, yeah, man, oh man, dumpster fire is an understatement. Damn, yeah. Yeah, totally. So one thing I can guarantee you, we come over here, we will stay as far away from all that stuff as possible. And here she goes. Hello, here she goes. Hope you're doing well. And there, well, it's going to pop up somewhere. Right there, right there. So we have a lot. Sleuth and I did some talking this morning, and I've been talking to Sleuth, Chris I've been talking to, KK I've been talking to, a lot of different people, and there's a lot of updates that are coming into play with a lot of the people we've spoken about in the last couple of months. So Sleuth and I were talking, why don't we just do some update discussions, let you guys know about some of the people, what's happened, what we found out has happened. Some cases have closed, other cases we found out a little bit more information, and we'll just go from there and see where we go. So we have like about 4 or 5 different cases we're going to update on today. So, Seal, it's not just me. Good. Every time I see here she goes, I want to start singing every single frickin' time. I'm happy it's not just me. So, Sleuth, I thought maybe what we'd do is start off with the most recent of the cases, which was last night, which was our Amber Alert out of Texas. And this is the one we were talking to Jessica earlier about. Jamar, for those of you who remember yesterday, Amber Alert was put out from Tyler, Texas. We did look out a little further, and I don't know, Sleuth, did you get to read anything about this case? I know it kind of finished up pretty quick.
Yeah, I watched your live like this morning whenever I first woke up because of course, I've been having to get up at like 6:30 my time.
Yeah.
And so I've been falling asleep like 9:30. And so it's been rough trying to catch, the nighttime lives and stuff. But
it's hard. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Hello, Melissa.
I'm gonna say, like, again, and I say this a lot about Texas and Tennessee, something about the T names. They are on top of Amber Alerts every single time, and I love it because it seems like those are the cases. It oftentimes end up with found safe, with the exception of Lena. It would be the only one that really went unresolved all this time.
Yep, exactly. And we did some more research into the stuff with Jamar and Turhandia. Yes, Turhandia was his mother does not have custody. And what had happened, Ringo is in chat. Hey, my dear. And yeah, Jessica, thank y'all for bringing it. Oh, definitely. And because that's the thing, we don't realize how often these things come close to where we live. But from what we understand with this one, he actually did go missing last Friday. And what had happened is the police, had CPS decided they needed custody of the little boy. It was approved, CPS custody. They went to go pick up the little boy and he was not there. So from Friday until yesterday, they were trying to figure things out. Finally, a judge had to come in and say, yes, we're putting out an Amber Alert for this case. And from my understanding, what I was able to pull together on this is that he was turned over, and I'm suspecting she was with him because she was arrested on a separate charge. So she was booked into the Smith County Jail at the time. But he is safe. Yes, Ringo. He was found. Great news. He's healthy. It was 8:20 this morning, Texas time. So that would be Central Time, 8:20 this morning. So that was great news because there were definitely a lot of concerns with that. So that was our first one I wanted to address, and because I know a lot of people were wondering about him. And the other one, actually, Chris and I have been talking a lot about, and I realized I never updated everyone on this. 2 weeks ago, we talked about George Smith. He was a silver alert out of Kansas. For those of you who might remember, he was supposed to have been going to dialysis, and he got in his car, in his pickup here, and he took off. And people thought he might have been going towards Oklahoma. He actually did go towards Oklahoma. Unfortunately, what happened was he ended up in a horrible car accident in
no.
Oklahoma. Yes. I tried to verify the accident, and I'm not getting, you know, how you go into Oklahoma. There were a bunch of different accidents, but I can't verify it was that accident.
Right.
But yeah, it took quite a while for them to positively identify him, about 7 days or so. But the word has come down that he did pass away during that accident. So he will be able,
Absolutely devastating.
yeah.
I'm glad that his family and friends are getting the answers though, and that they were able to identify and locate him. I mean, it's absolutely awful that it happened, but sometimes not having an answer is so much worse.
And that's the thing. We talk all the times. One of the cases we're going to talk about, well, two of the cases we're going to talk about, there are no final answers yet. And that is, as the months go by, the years go by, it becomes so hard because you don't know what is hope? What is hope going to look like at that point? And luckily, this did end up fairly quick. Within, a week, 2 weeks, they were able to finally get some idea of what was going on. But again, guys, this is why we need these silver alerts. Chet, I've said this before, go into your alert system for the state that you live in. Do you have a silver alert for your state? Hawaii does not. And that's what truly helped in this case, because people were looking. He was all the way in Oklahoma, yet he's from Wichita, Kansas. It was having that alert that allowed people to, police and all, to put all these things together. So, and I don't know, Sleuth, have I ever asked you, do you guys have a silver alert where you live?
We do actually. Yeah.
Okay, it's good.
And
Which
I
is
know that
good.
there is a lot of states now that have added something, either a silver alert or something similar to it. So,
None, hopefully. So yeah, do check. Your seal is saying our state does. Let me pull this over here. Our state does, but a lot don't. Yeah, I think it's almost a half-half is what I'd have to go back and look at my things, but
I think that
we need to
part of
push
it
it.
is it's been getting added more over the last year or two. Do you know what I mean? It seems like the more that people are covering true crime and the awareness that surrounds it, that's what's helping push. And so that's where you get like the little bit here and there with which ones do and don't have it. But that's also why it's important for us to push and advocate for the
Mhm.
people who might be older or have some type of physical disability or mental disability or something along
Oh,
those lines that would qualify
right.
as a silver alert.
Yeah, Roberta, I honestly thought we had one. I'm a nursing home administrator. You would think if anyone would know, I would have known. I do true crime plus you would think I would know that. And I remembered it being discussed. So for some reason, I just thought, oh, yeah, no, I remember back in the early 2000s or something, it was actually being discussed at our legislature. And I thought, who would ever say no to something like that? Well, Hawaii
Right.
did. So,
Really?
yeah, yeah, it
27
literally
states currently. Sorry.
27. Okay. So
Mhm.
about half. And then, of course, there's probably some that don't, they have something slightly different.
I was gonna say
And
27 have it completely, and then there are 9 states that have something similar, but it doesn't get called a silver alert, and then 6 states have no missing a person alert system at all, which is crazy to me. It doesn't list those 6
wow.
though. But
Wow.
the 27 states is Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Connecticut, Florida, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Mississippi, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Oregon, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin. And then the other ones with the alternative alerts are Alabama, Colorado, Georgia, Kentucky, Michigan, New Hampshire, New York, Ohio, and Virginia, which is weird because I was
Wow.
almost positive that we had one in PA, but I bet you it's called something different here.
Wow,
Okay,
wow.
sorry.
Roberta, good for you. You just looked it up and checked, and yes, Colorado does have it. Awesome. Yeah, checking because this year, guys, we're going into election season. Okay, we're starting to already go into that for the next year and two actually, but in some of our smaller areas, we're getting it, and I'm actually got a few people I'm in the process of contacting because it's got to start with one of us. Okay, and unfortunately, a lot of us forget. And yes, like okay, Seal and all, Jessica are saying it comes down to advocates, people who are going to go out there and start the discussion. So yeah, check those things out. But yeah, my heart breaks for this family because the fear of having an elderly loved one that's gone missing, your parents almost do become like a child at a certain point. Okay, they're never children, but you have that same level of protectiveness that a parent has for a child. And I'm sure they were extremely worried about it. He was diabetic, dialysis, all those things. So and all, but at least they can, as I say here in Hawaii, we bury people and then we have lunch, dinner with them. We go sit at the cemetery and have meals with our loved one, even though that they passed away. That relationship continues. So they have that ability now. Yeah, it's scary because they are vulnerable. So,
I
so
was gonna
our
say,
next,
out of
yeah,
the oh, sorry,
mhm.
out of the
No,
22
continue.
states that do not have them, if you guys
Yeah,
live in one of the 22 states that does not have it, and you're looking to figure out, "How do I start advocating for this?" One of the biggest things that you could probably do is, and this is gonna sound crazy, but in your Facebook yard sale group for your local community, maybe pitch an idea about starting something like this in a discussion thread. Get people on board with you. Start a Facebook group for your area that you can take to your senators and things like that and show them, like, hey, look,
right.
this is public interest in getting this done. Would you come on board with us? And that's how it starts. You got to start small, even if it's just within the discussion, so that you know, okay, hey, guess what? Me and Loco both live in
Mhm.
PA, which we don't, but if we did, and we wanna
Yeah,
start this together, and that's how you make changes, that's how you make movements.
that's it.
Start small and chip away with it until you make a difference.
Exactly. And that's how it is. You can't jump. So many of us think big. You know, we can start small. Hey now. Hello, hello. No worries. Hey, you're on Hawaiian time, okay? I'm here, Hawaii. Hawaiian time is real. You're good. And but yeah, volunteer, connect with people. Sorry, dog is growling right now in case my microphone's acting up. And also, so yeah, getting the word out. And maybe as we get closer to election times, maybe we'll have to start looking at ways that we can talk here on YouTube about developing a grassroots system within your own area to set up things like this. Just an idea. We'll have to talk about that a little bit. So our next person I wanted to talk about, and let me go here, is actually from Monday. Quite a few of you were here on Monday when we talked about Kara. Kara was a person that went missing about a year and a half ago that quite a few of us have talked about, but a lot of people also do not know much about her. We did do the whole live on Monday. Well, it wasn't Monday. It was actually yesterday because I was running late. Um, and I was able to talk with her mother and get some messages. For those of you who are over on the Facebook group, you got the response that she made publicly to the video. And I wanted to share that response. She also did contact me privately, and we've been talking a little bit also. Sleuth, you covered Kara also, didn't you?
I did, yes. I covered her, like, way back whenever well, it wasn't quite whenever she first went missing. I wanna say it was actually probably 6 months or so after, um, because I wasn't quite in in depth into missing people in December of 2021. So I wanna say it was about
Right.
6 months or so after, and I had talked to her mom back then and all the things as well, like getting
Mhm.
information about her disappearance and what they thought possibly could have happened or not. And so I know that things, though, have continued to develop, and there has been new information since.
You got it. And I just noticed I skipped someone, so we'll go back to that person right after we're done with talking about Kara. And yeah, and talking with Kara, and what I'm going to do real quickly is I'm going to pull this down. Actually, no, I can skip forward. Mom contacted me overnight, and there has been a lot of progress on this case. Yes, it's been almost 6 months since people have really focused on the case. You've had some fundraisers here or there, but you really haven't had a lot of people delving deeply into it. And you guys know as well as I do, a lot can happen in 6 months. And as I mentioned, I was kind of impressed with the police officer I was hearing about, because it seemed like he really understood the world that this might be pertaining to. Okay, with some potential issues with drug use here, and the people she may have gotten involved with, or things like that. And I think they've really come pretty far. So there's a lot of things. Let me go here real quickly. For those of you who want to read this for yourself, you can go to the Find Kara Hyde Facebook group. That is actually ran by her mom, and it's really focused on getting the word out about Kara. She just did a great little, survey to find out, how did you find out about Kara? Okay, and Facebook won. Facebook is how most people got it. Sleuth, thank you for popping that in there. So she actually, here, thank you. And she sent me some other stuff that I don't want to share without approval and all, but what's here is public. So I did want to go ahead and share it because it answers a lot of the questions people were asking. And so as we go through this, we can kind of stop. Sleuth, if you have any ideas, let me know. Just stop me and we can discuss. So Lisa had written that this is very well done. She's talking about the video. You can see the thumbnail there. This is very well done, detailed account of Kara's story. Thank you, Cindy. I did post it under my real name, for such a great job. There are some things I want to clarify and expand on. First, Kara has never run away from home. And this was one of the things, and this is why it's so important to always keep looking, because I had seen multiple places where she had. And it's good to hear this, and talking with family, you start to get the full story. And it makes a difference, where we're thinking and where our brains go off to. She did go to,
I was going to say, like, her mom has been an absolute soldier out there looking for her. She has never stopped. She has never, for 1 second, just, discounted that her daughter could still be out there somewhere. And she just really, really wants people to see her face and to get her story out there as much as she could. And
she has been. And I know a lot of people see that sometimes differently. It's like, oh, are you too involved? Are you too less involved? It doesn't matter. Okay, that's not up to us to decide, or someone way over. We overanalyze things way too often. Sometimes we just have to look at the facts that are coming in. And I know it's normal for us to want to look at things, but that's where we run off in other directions. But it was, she has been there since day one. She has made sure that every couple months people are remembering that her daughter's still out there. So she did go to Florida with her boyfriend for 1 month. So that might be what people are thinking when she, quote unquote, ran away, but did not run away. She had gone with her boyfriend to Florida for a month. She also went on vacation for a week with her dad once, but Kara stuck to home. Her severe anxiety, and we talked heavily about how mental health was a large part of this case initially, and I think initially why a lot of people ran in different directions, or why people don't respond as quickly, or things like that. Her severe anxiety did not allow her to stay away from home long. Next is the reason Kara left my house that day. I had mentioned that she had said she was doing the Christmas gift, birthday gift, picking up the birthday gift. She did go further on here. She has found out some more information since then. She left to get my gift and to find drugs. As far as okay, we know, was Kara tricked or tried drugs? Okay, this was one of the areas that it was. Seal, did they find some of her clothes in the woods? Were they hers? We are going to address that. She actually addresses the clothing bit. So hold
All
on
right,
to that
one
for just
second.
a second. Yes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Chat, can you guys tell me, is she roboting on your end
Oh,
or is it just on mine? And it was just for this last sentence. So I just wanted to make sure before you got like too much further, if it's because
we know
sometimes
what's
my
going on.
headphones are wonky because I put them through the washing machine. So if I
Yep,
need to change
exactly.
headphones, I can do that. So
Seal saying just you, yours. It's
okay.
you, Sleuth. It's just you.
Okie
Okay.
dokie.
And thank you guys. Thank you, actually. With my time, I wasn't sure either because the Wi-Fi's been really weird. So, okay, so there was one question. She had said that she's always felt that Kara was tricked into taking drugs the first time. And also, she did go into that saying, as far as was Kara tricked or tried drugs? The cousin who tricked her has admitted it to my son. Okay, I think that's important. Carol was smart. She knew better than to mess with drugs of that nature. Okay, Carol also hated tweakers and nodders, as she called them. I don't believe my baby would ever do this to herself. Kara was very proud of herself for not using drugs. Okay, and then we'll stop at that and go on to the next bit in just a second. And guys, anyone who's ever dealt with drugs, sometimes all it takes is that one time. Okay, it's not just a mental addiction, it's a physical addiction. And with some people, there's a lot of things that come into play there. So yeah, poor Seal, exactly. Okay, to have someone who goes and gives you something, okay, without maybe knowing what it is you had, it can set up a whole trend for the future. And it is, Jessica, perfect way to put it. It's a loaded gun. It really honestly is. And your heart goes out to her because that does open up so many possibilities. And that's why we warn our kids about drugs and stuff, going to parties, things like that, because you don't know what's coming your direction. And so, anything you wanted to say on that, Sleuth, before I go ahead?
Nope. Sorry.
No
I was
worries,
changing
no
my
worries.
headphones, so I missed part of what you said.
No
But
worries,
no,
no
I
worries.
do agree, like, about the loaded gun and stuff like that. Once you start doing substances like this, with knowledge, without knowledge, whatever, it opens up that hunger. It opens up that gate.
Yep, exactly. And Jessica made a point there, and I don't know if she was on any psychiatric meds, but even an antidepressant combined with those could have different reactions for people. So it's important, okay, when those things happen. So the next thing actually goes to where we were just talking about a few minutes ago. She probably panicked too. True, Seal. Um, I want to talk about the bag of clothes found at Crawford Woods. The bag, okay, for those of you who remember, when I talked about the bag, I had said from what I had read, it had been found under a tarp. And based off of that, you weren't quite sure on how long had it been there. Did she give them to someone? What could it? There were tons of different possibilities around here. Lisa actually brings up a really good possibility connected to this. That as they've gotten more information as to what happened, it opens up more possibilities as to why that bag was there. Plus, she knows a little additional stuff. The bag was barely damp on the bottom. Okay, but it was clean. So it had rained the night before. So even
And
with that, yeah, go for it, Sleuth.
that was from a search, for those of you who are
Yes.
wondering.
Oh, yes.
The family was out there searching for her at this point. And so the bag, I think this was almost a year later, wasn't it?
It was actually pretty soon after.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I can't, yeah.
For some reason
It
I thought
wasn't
that search was. a while.
Yeah,
But
no,
regardless,
they
the bag should have
January, I
had
think.
some type of wear or tear on it,
Yeah.
you would think.
Yes, exactly. And this was actually one of the reasons why the police and EquiSearch Midwest ended up going back and searching the area, was because the family had come across this bag. So they went back to research the area at that point. And knowing that, yeah, it had rained the night before. Okay, I'm dealing with rain. Of course, there's different levels of rain, but even with a tarp over it, there's chance that rain gets underneath. Things will get wet, things like that. So, and as she says here, the bag was barely damp on the bottom, but it was clean. It had rained the night before. The same clothes were in it that I packed for her a year ago. Now, we had talked about this were clothes that were packed as part of her being able to go to rehab at one point. So the last time I saw this bag, it was in the back of her ex's truck a year prior. This is news to me. This was something I had not heard about
Yeah, I think
before.
maybe that's why I thought it was a year then, because she says
That's
the year part twice there, so that's probably why that went through
That
my brain.
makes sense. That makes sense totally. So, and that does, because in my head, everything I was thinking is, okay, this bag was in her house. Did she leave with the bag? Okay, she give it to someone at some time, a homeless person, as a way to say, hey, here's some clothes so you can stay warm or something like that. But when you start hearing this, hello, Crazy for Reptiles. I'm happy you made it also, my dear. Um, for us to find out at this point that the last time the bag was seen was in the ex's truck a year prior, that changes that whole picture. Okay, there was also a shirt and boot found at a different location in the park. That's also something new, and those were dry. Kara had similar boots and a shirt at home that matched the one that was found. So those are new pieces of information. I believe these were Kara's items also. So now we are hearing about a bag of clothing, a boot, and a shirt. Okay, all very, okay, dry or just lightly damp type thing. And it had rained the night before, which makes things make sense. But interesting to add that onto the whole picture. To be clear, Kara did not sleep in the woods or homeless camps. She had a home. Again, she lived with her mother. Okay, I said this yesterday. She and her mom were like me and my mom. Okay, different age group and things like that. But we live with each other and we share each other's lives. When she wasn't here, she couch surfed at friends in the neighborhood. There was no reason things should have been at Crawford. Her belief, now this is her belief only, but it's still a belief that needs mentioned, is that they were planted there to make people believe she was at Crawford. This would guarantee we search Crawford, wasting precious time. Crawford has been thoroughly and professionally searched several times. I mentioned EquiSearch was involved in that search. So there's been some serious searching there. And as Mom says, I don't believe she is there. Last, I want to talk to you about her ex-boyfriend. This is where it gets tricky, and I have to be careful how much I reveal. And guys, this is one thing I know Sleuth and feels just the way that I do on this. These are active cases. And when we start feeding into information or creating information or sharing information that we're not supposed to be sharing, we can hurt cases. We can hurt someone's potential for justice. And my heart goes, yeah. I
No,
mean,
and I was gonna
this,
say that the
yeah,
other
go
thing
for
is that this is the feelings and the words coming from her mom. It does not necessarily mean that Lokomai or myself believe
it.
the same things that she is saying or anything like that.
Exactly.
Everything that is said is going to be allegedly, and like I said, it's going to be Kara's
Yes,
mom's words. So that's
right.
important to understand too.
Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you, because that's exactly it. We have to realize there are all different thoughts and beliefs and things. Um, my heart goes out to her right now because she does, as she's saying, this case is progressing, and she has to be careful what's revealed and what's not. And that's why I'm keeping everything that we're talking about to what is here written, because this is what she feels comfortable sharing. And okay, this is where it gets tricky, and I have to be careful how much I reveal. And again, like Sleuth said, a lot of this is allegedly. Okay, there are some things that mention law enforcement understanding things and all. But again, this is all coming from family. This is the same ex who had Kara's bag of clothes in his trunk. Kara was scared of him the day she went missing, and she told all her friends about her fear. He was stalking her on all of her social media platforms even after she disappeared. This I saw with my own eyes several times. He would get on her Facebook and post nasty things about her, pretending to be her. He would send messages as her, block people, etc. Kara was often in tears over this. One of the things we heard quite often is that Kara was very heavily on social media. And this fits along with that. And what we're hearing her is not something that hasn't happened in other cases in the past. Okay, and hearing this, okay, at this point, they're very much, again, allegedly, okay, but they are things that could happen very easily. It's one reason why I'm going to tell people, don't share your login information with people. They're giving us these abilities to add people to our accounts without sharing our password with them. Utilize it that way. Have other ways you can do that. Because even sometimes in cases where we've all had someone in our life that we thought was one way, but we found out they were slightly different months later.
Yep.
And
oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, and no matter what walk of life you're in, I can't even call and pay my husband's credit card bill without him giving them permission to speak with me,
yep,
and we've been married for 6 years. You know what I mean? But that's just the reality of this life that we walk in.
yeah,
Protect yourselves. Even if it is against a husband or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever, because sadly, you just never know. I mean, we see enough people harm, and I'm not saying for sure that that happened in Kara's case, but
we
we
don't
see
know.
enough people harm their significant others that it's something to kind of, I mean, hey, if your husband out of nowhere starts making, a drink for you or food, you might have to raise your eyebrows and a red flag or two and be like, you poisoning this? Like, what's
Mhm.
up? I don't know.
No,
I don't know. But just protect
no,
yourself
it's true.
at the end of the day.
Jessica mentioned it perfectly. You have to advocate for yourself. Okay, we talk about that in healthcare. We talk about it in all sorts, but you know what? When it comes to your safety, advocate for yourself. Always be alert to what might be happening around you. Hey, FarQ. Hope you're having a good day, my dear. In reading her messages, so this is again mom saying in reading her daughter's messages. Okay, yes, Seal. Hey, he goes making breakfast, you know something's up right
Ugh.
away. So,
And she got sick. Straight up, she had, like, a headache for 2
uh-uh.
days. Pete,
Mm,
what are you doing?
mhm. We're starting to figure this out now. No, okay. And in reading her messages, I found he was also showing up everywhere she went. From Kara and witnesses, this ex constantly threatened to, okay, I'm going to say the word, kill her and make her disappear. This is the same ex who called me on the 12th after she had gone missing, a few days after she went missing, and told me he thought Kara was at Crawford and might be dead. As soon as I heard his voice, I knew I may never see Kara again. Now, again, this is allegedly per mom. Okay, we do have to listen. Okay, we know how we feel about families and all, but we do have to always recognize people have different stories. Um, this is a man with a history, okay, allegedly of dead exes. I didn't understand why he called me with this info. We are enemies. I find all of his actions suspicious. I have to stop here so as not to jeopardize Kara's case. But there has been progress made in the investigation. I'm so happy to hear that. I know for a fact who was the last person to see my baby. Now, I'm not sure if that means she's heard that directly from law enforcement or if someone has told her I was the last one to see or something like that. Okay, and she's just created her own thing. But according to her, she's been able to get that information. And she is getting answers for herself right now, which definitely help in being able to process things. I know some of what transpired and where she was. I know she was taken from that location to another site. I just don't know where she was taken and hidden from me. Sorry this is long, but I hope it clears some things up. And let me pull this back up so we can, oh, I just got rid of that. And shows you what I'm thinking right now. She's still missing, guys. We still need to be her voice. We still need to share her story. Okay, actually, let me go back. Whoopsie, let me go. Here she is, Kara. So, hey, Dog Defender, welcome, my dear. She's still missing. She needs to be found. Like I said, yes. What we just went through is facts according to her mother. So everything has an allegedly and all, but facts are important to be shared. Police are looking into this. As I said from the get-go, this police officer knows this community, the types of people that are there, how to talk with them. There is money that's going towards a reward that might make it easier for people to step up and speak up and all. So again, please, the video is there from yesterday. If you haven't seen it, please go watch that video. You now know some additional information. There is also going to be the drive by the American Vets, a motorcycle ride to bring attention to Kara. So it's been a year. It would be so great if they can solve this before we hit her 2-year anniversary. To me, it would be amazing if we could get there. And also, anything else you wanted to add to that, Sleuth?
No, I think you gave a pretty good broad overview. And honestly, you guys, if you are wanting to know more information, go check out the video yesterday because she did a lot of more in-depth coverage of it as well. And it would be a great place to start for, more details. But I don't know, really, really what they need is for Kara's face to keep getting spread. Because in the event that the details that mom is telling us is wrong and that she is okay out there somewhere, we need people to see her face so that they can call it in and say like, hey, she's over here. I don't think that Kara would have left though, unfortunately, just based on the relationship that her and her mother had. I don't think that she would have willingly just walked away.
Right. No, and I think that Seal, thank you so much, Seal. I love you. And thank you so much. And congratulations, Roberta got a membership. Hey, Cassie, you want to say thank you? Say thank you. Thank you, everyone. Cassie's like, let me go lay down again. And also, thank you, Seal. Thank you. Love you, my dear. And welcome to the Ohana, Roberta. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, Sleuth hit that on the head, gang. We don't, you know what? Hope means there's an answer out there that we actually don't know yet. We don't know what that answer truly is. We may have little hints here or there, but what if mom's being led in a direction and there's something else possibly also going on, okay, and someone sees, we don't know. Or someone sees Kara's gorgeous face and remembers something that happened a year and a half ago, or someone talking about something. So yeah, please help us share that out. So I am going to bring up another case that actually, Sleuth, you have been covering a bit. and all. I don't know, did you want to play the video, or did you just want to talk and read about it?
I just sent you a flyer too,
Oh, okay.
that you could even show, and, I can just read down through the article.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
this is Ariela Garcia. She left her home on the 500 block of Roosevelt Street back on September 22nd of 2022. So she has been missing for quite some time. I believe it's 9 months, 10 months, 10 months
Wow.
now. And her family just still doesn't have any answers. And so this is the most recent update article about her. I had covered her several months ago whenever she very first went missing. But there's been nothing. I mean, it's really hard whenever the police stay quiet on a case, and this plays a part into Kara's updates as well. It's hard as a family to just stay quiet. And so that's where the family facts, the family information, the family interviews and stuff like that plays a huge part, whether it is what you call
Bringing
it,
up the picture for you. There you go.
vigils or whatever, in order to get the information out there and make it something that you were able to do, right?
Right.
So this is actually from a protest that they had, and so that's different events, but the most important thing is her picture here, her face. But they're doing different events to try to raise awareness about her. She went missing in Salinas, California, and like I said, she's been missing since September 22nd. So let me pull up. Okay.
Wow. And
So, police updated as of Thursday, June 23rd. So I'm a little bit behind on doing this update because I was doing those trials and things like that. But they said that they still have no answers, no more information into her disappearance, and it's been 9 months now that her family has been wondering. If you want to pull up that article, Lokomai, there is a video
definitely.
of her leaving in her
Oh,
car from her apartment building the morning that she went missing at 5:34 in the morning, and that is the second video down in the article.
second video. Okay, we'll do. Hi, Hope. Yes, there's a bunch of different things we're gonna have to keep an eye on for stuff. Okay, here we go. This is the one you're talking about?
Yes, sorry.
Oh, okay, perfect. Oh,
So this is a video of her. She's leaving. She had to work that day. So the red Honda is hers. Oh, yeah. Sorry. So there she goes, and at the same time, she also texted her sister, and she let her know that she was heading to work. But she never went to work, like, she never got there that day. The family reported her missing. They found her car in Big Sur, which is,
okay.
an area. But the
Yeah.
weird thing about this was at the same time, there was somebody else who had also gone missing right in that same area of Big Sur. And so I actually covered this. I believe actually at the time there was 3 women total that went missing from the same area, and they all like all their stuff was all
Oh,
found up in the Big Sur area. And so that was really something that we looked at, like,
scary.
could there
Yeah.
have been some type of connection between the cases? Because it was just
Right.
really strange whenever it was happening. But so the detectives have been working on it, and they conducted a lot of searches. They have been looking for her where her vehicle was found. They used aircrafts, drones, canines, all of the things, and they never found any information. It's an ongoing investigation. And really, like I said, her family just is left with no answers after all of this time. And so, it's really just about getting her face out there again and making
Right.
sure that people see her and realize, like, hey, this woman is missing. They've got nothing. They found her car, they found her items, they did not find her. And
The
the
other,
area that she was parked in Big Sur, it was like at a park. Let me see if I can.
okay, got it. I'm sitting here
Yeah.
trying to see if there's any groups about her or anything. Um, are the other women that went missing, do they kind of have any similarities look wise, things like that?
Yeah, let me pull up my live actually, because I know
Okay. There is a group about her, but it's very small.
Yeah.
Not too active. Yeah. I was just checking
Oh,
that
nice.
out. Interesting. Yeah, it makes you want,
So this,
every time I see video while you're doing that, okay, of someone leaving for work or something, you see these last videos and stuff like that. It always, I can't help but think to myself, how would they be if they knew what was going to happen? Okay, you're seeing something knowing their life is never going to be the same just minutes later. And for some reason, I always think about that when I see video like that. Oh,
right. So here's the
oops.
video that I did. This was 7 months ago I did this video. She had went
Okay.
missing, oh, I guess I can pull it up on screen actually if you
Yeah,
wanna.
and I'll share it out that way.
Yep.
Yeah, if you'll just, yeah, there we
So she
go.
had
Here we are.
gone missing, but then 1 or 2 had gone missing and 1 was found deceased. And so this is background Christmas time. Look how long I've had this intro. I gotta change my intro, you guys.
I need to
Oh my
make an
gosh.
intro, girl. You talk about intros.
Okay, so this is let me make it bigger. That would help. Okay, so Sandy was the one she was also reported missing. She has not been found yet either.
Okay.
And she was Vietnamese. They found her belongings in Big Sur. Hold on, why is this so bad? Okay, hold on. I was like, why can I not read anything on the screen? It's because my
That
thing was turned
helps.
like way down.
Yeah. Seal, exactly. Very similar in appearance. As soon as she said that, I was like, ooh, okay, yeah, that is
Yeah,
definitely
they're like really similar. So like this is one, right? And then
right.
to my knowledge, she has not yet been found. And then, of course, Ariel Garcia.
Right.
And let's see, where's the third one? It's all right together.
Right, right. Going back. See, that's it. And this kind of brings up something that Chris mentioned earlier. There's so many people out there who need coverage. So many people. And so few of them get them, or we get to cover 2, 3 times and we never get to go back because there are so many people.
Right. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
There's that same video. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I don't see the map. Here's the park
Yep.
though. So they were searching this area, and then at the top of this hill, there was a park that her car had been found at.
Okay.
No, I didn't go through the
Yes.
map. I thought that I did. For some reason, I remember going through the map, but I'm apparently no.
It was in your dreams sometime later that night when you were thinking, oh, I should have tried this.
You know what? I might have done more than
See?
one live about her, and I
That's what
just
I
don't
was
remember.
wondering.
And BC's not here to be like, no, it was at this
Yeah,
time stamp on this
exactly.
live.
You need
So
your secretary to help you through those questions. You know that. Yes.
exactly.
So,
But the other one was Kaylee Gamil, and she had actually been found, unfortunately, deceased, and hers was classified a homicide. And as far as I know, there still has not been anyone arrested for her murder. And they found
I
her at, like, at the same park that they found Ariel Garcia's car at.
oh, oh, oh,
Yeah,
not good, not good.
right.
Haley Camille or wait,
Yeah, let me get it.
I was looking to see if I could see what. Yeah, Seal, way too many. Makes you wonder where they're all going. And yeah, it's sad. It's really sad when you look at the numbers, and you almost feel helpless at times because there's so many who need things brought up and all.
There is,
Um,
and honestly, like I was telling Daisy, she's a
yep.
friend of PJ's, and I've been kind of checking out some of her videos and stuff like that, and she was talking about her goals for how many cases she wants to cover and things like that, which is amazing. It's amazing to come into this and think, "I'm going to do X amount of cases a week or a month or whatever,
Right.
but the fatigue is
S
real. If you
it
guys see
does.
me stop and I'm doing a trial, it's because at that point, my brain has become so overwhelmed that I need to take a break,
Yeah.
and I hate doing that, but at the same time, like,
Right.
you have to step back sometimes whenever stuff starts to get hard because it is hard reading about all of the death and devastation and missing and talking
Mhm.
to these families and seeing like how upset people are and like everything that they have gone through. And so it's very important. Yes, Jessica, self-care. That's what I was getting ready to say.
That's it exactly.
Very,
That's
very
it.
important.
Yeah, exactly, PJ. Yeah, no, there's a part of you that you start also planning out. I got to the point where I used to, Sleuth knows about this. I would have these ideas on Mondays, missing Mondays. Oh, I'll set it up on missing Mondays because I can always plan ahead. You can't even plan ahead a lot of times. A lot of times you
No,
have to
not at
go,
all.
yeah, there's just too much. You are human. You're not a robot. You got to take care of yourself.
Well, and that's
Um,
it too, because
yeah,
if we don't take care of ourselves and we walk away off of this platform, if
yeah,
okay, if every single good person who is trying to do the right thing, who is trying to cover true crime, who is trying to actually cover more than just the hot case, if every single person like that gets burnt out and walks away, then who will be covering it? You know what I mean? And so that's where self-care is important and
yeah.
slowing down sometimes. And like, I don't know, every now and
It's
then
like
it's
being a
okay to laugh
caregiver.
too. And
Yeah,
cover fun stuff too, and
you
take a
have
breath.
to.
Don't put yourself in a box where you can only cover devastation, right? Don't do that to yourself either.
No. And that's true because it's like when you talk about caregivers and all. If a caregiver is not taking care of themselves, they can't take care of the other people that they're supposed to be taking, that they're there to care for. Well, it's the same thing with what we're doing here. Okay, you have to go laugh at times. Okay, I'm
Mhm.
pulling up right now so we can laugh at the end of this live. Okay, I'm pulling something up that Sleuth sent me earlier today so we can actually laugh when the time comes. And but yeah, no, it really, you have to have that. So, did you want me to play that video about Haley or
Yeah, but
Kaylee?
give me 1 second though, because,
Yeah,
Valerie actually sent me a thing, and if we could pop it up, let me send this to you.
go for it. Go for it. Let me just go real
It's a
quickly.
pregnant mom and her children that are missing. So I'll forward it to you on Facebook, I think might be the
Okay, will do.
easiest
Let me do this real
way.
quick. Yeah, no, no, definitely. Is this a new um disappearance?
Looks like July 19th was the last time that they were seen at
Wow.
1:30 AM on security footage
That's
in
today.
Layton, Utah.
Okay, let
So they are
me
missing in a white 2013 Dodge Journey, Utah license plate V700JW. And it's
okay.
Elizabeth Rebecca Dunlap Tracy. She is 35 years old and she is 6 months pregnant, and she has 4 young male children ages 9, 7, 3, and 1. So it
Oh my
looks like right now they're
gosh.
just trying to verify that she is alive. It says down at the bottom, edited for my coworkers who have asked. Elizabeth is my sister, and we are very concerned for her well-being and the well-being of the children. Thank you very much for sharing. Please keep it going. So it does
So
seem like
this
it
is the three
was,
boys.
yeah.
So we've got the three of them there. Adorable. And anyone who has children, especially boys this age, keeping them under control, dealing with things. There's a lot going on.
Well, and
There's
anytime you're looking at, a car being involved, could they have just been going on vacation and didn't tell someone
right,
or something
right,
along those lines? Could they have been going on a road trip? But then there's always the danger, as we seen with, was it George at the beginning,
right,
that
right.
you could possibly be in a situation you are, um, where
Where
there could be a
things
car
just go.
accident or something along those lines. So
She
keeping an eye
posted,
out for their vehicle and things like that if you are in the Utah area or
yeah.
or beyond for that matter.
Yeah, exactly. And oh God. Yeah, no, that's scary. You know what? Afterwards, I'm gonna take a look and see if we need to make a poster or something on that one
Okay.
because
Yeah, that would
yeah,
be great. And you're completely fine, by the way.
okay, thank you, thank you. And also thank you. And
Everyone at this
also,
point knows that my name is Nicole,
I
and
know
probably about
exactly.
70% of our community knows my address. So
See, even there, all of a sudden I'm hitting backwards buttons and I'm like, why did it just go to that instead?
still no
Okay.
Christmas cards.
We're missing Christmas cards out this year. Special Christmas. Don't forget the gift card. You got to add those in with them, okay? It's got to be one of those real cute ones.
Oh, man.
So,
Funny.
oh my God. Yeah, hopefully no trolls here. Yep, you got it. It's so funny. That's why I finally got to the point I just shared my own name out. I'm lucky enough I don't have kids or anything to worry about those. So, but Jessica has 5 and 6. Oh my God, both boys. Yeah, my auntie was the type she had 3 boys. And after having the 3rd boy, she was like, we're not going to tempt fate. I am not going to have the 4th boy. I'm okay with this. And then she ended up getting divorced and she married a guy with a girl. So see, it worked out in the end. So, and okay, thank you. Thank you, Mal. Definitely, because I think we need to get that out. Sometimes it's just someone needs a break. I mean, there was another case I was mentioning Sleuth to you earlier today where someone was looking for a family, a friend, a really good friend, and that person had gone missing and there was a ping, but it was within a creek area. And you get scared, you get worried. And it turned out that turned out in good, okay, person was okay. They just needed a break. They needed some time for themselves. And so that does happen. And I'm hoping that's what happened in this case. But no matter what, yeah, this is scary, especially with 3 kids and her pregnant. That's even scarier. What if something happened while they were driving or something like that? Definitely scary there. Let me pull up that one video again that we were going to share with
I got it if you
Kaylee.
wanna just
You got,
pop up mine. I always switch over to my
perfect.
Sleuth mom account anytime I have to, like,
That's
do
smart.
all the
That is
things.
smart. So, yep, your best friend, Mal was saying, best friend is 29, has 3 boys, ages 3, 1, and 2 months. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, they're tempting fate. Another boy's coming.
Mhm.
So, oh, you just shared the other one. Yes.
So for those of you who are not familiar with the Carly Russell story, which I will be shocked if you're not, it's like saying that you don't know who Gabby Petito is. Um, Carly Russell, it was basically outed by police today. They did not come right out and say that she's a liar, but they did say that there is no abductor and that there was no toddler and that she stole money from work and went and bought some snacks before she went on her little excursion. And so this video was made and it is her story in a nutshell, and I literally died watching this earlier. I felt my heart stop.
This
I
was
was
the
in
best way to wake up in the morning. This was the best thing in the
oh my
morning. Oh,
gosh.
I loved it.
Let me play this.
No way you can send anybody because I'm scared for her. Please, somebody come help. Hey, yeah, I called them. Can you see my hazard lights? Yeah, I'm right here. Uh-huh. Look, I don't know how long it's gonna take for them to get here, so don't be asking all these damn questions. Just make sure you right there when I get there, goddamn. Because I'm right here on I-459. It ain't gonna take them that long to get here. So just make sure you right there. Are you coming? Yeah, I'm putting a wig on my seat right now. Just hold on. I gotta make sure like something happen. Shit. But I'm saying, you know it ain't gonna take them long to get there. They right around the damn corner trace and shit. Hold on, can't forget my damn phone. Hold on. Did you get my snacks and shit? Yes, I got your damn snacks. Now chill out. Shit. Here I come.
Hey,
What?
have you checked the internet lately?
No, what's wrong?
Check your Facebook page.
Can't even
They
like
got a camera up there?
Apparently they
you
fucking
know
do.
that's what
Shit, I
happened
gotta
to
go home.
like
Damn well, that's what
I gotta go home.
happened. Oh my God.
Yes, it's a toddler out
she had no choice but to go home because they had her right on camera. Like right on it.
I
Oh, I can't.
Best. Oh my God. Like I said, Darwin Awards are real. Okay. They don't have to entail anything other than stupidity. Like, yes. And oh my God, that was the best. That was the best, hands down. So, Sleuth, I sent you something private. Not sure if you want to. Oh, okay. Okay. Either way, we could do that. So, actually, let's go on for a little while. I think we can still go with a
Okay.
little.
Yep.
I was asking Sleuth privately whether or not we should continue with the last subject we were going to talk about today or not. And hell, I feel chatty tonight, so let's go on a little longer. So, poor Sleuth, I know she's getting sleepy. So, Sleuth, you got to let me know when you're like, I'm ready to snore. So,
I'm okay.
and then, okay,
And
you're
then,
good.
yeah, I'll just leave if I have to.
Okay. This probably, we talked a lot about this. Oh, yes. We don't need her anyhow. We don't need her at all. So we actually just did a lot of talking actually over on PJs about Madalena. So, but I do know there's some people who may have caught here because of time zones and all. So, Madalena. Wow. This one is, we are getting so many new updates and things like that here. Let me see here. The one you had sent me that was so good was right here. Okay. I think most of us hear about Madalena, what's going on. Not sure how many of you guys have actually read all the paperwork that was just, I don't know. Sleuth, have you been able to
I was
download
gonna
all
say,
that yet?
put a one in the
Who's going to
chat.
read any of it?
Know about
Oh,
Madalena, first of
yeah,
all,
that might be a good one to start
and
with.
maybe put a 3 if you already know about the updates. So a 1 if you know
That's
about the
important.
case, but you haven't heard the updates, and a 3 if you know about the case and you know about the updates. Because I'm just curious to see.
So
Just
we got a
curious to see who knows
3-ish.
what, because some of
That was a good
the
question.
updates, yeah, they're driving they're driving everybody nuts, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just
exactly.
like,
And
to summarize the updates that we're getting ready to go through in a nutshell, the dad, like, is pretending he doesn't know anything. He's, like, pretending that he can't remember things, and maybe, who knows, maybe he has a medical condition, but he's, like, writing things in a
oh my
notebook,
God.
and, like, they're finding stuff on hard drives, and who knows, she could have been sold. Like, he's trying to make it
Mhm.
sound like that the mom sold her. Like, it's all been kind of crazy and wonky. But to summarize her case, Madalena was last seen coming off of a school bus, essentially, on November 21st. And this case was huge. Like, we're
Was.
talking huge whenever it first came out.
I did a full
Um,
breakdown on this one actually.
yeah,
So, yeah, it
everyone
was
was
nuts.
talking about it. Everyone. And then out of nowhere, it's like people just moved on to the next case and she got forgotten. And it's kind
Yep.
of sad, honestly. But
Yeah,
go ahead
no,
and
it's
do your
totally,
thing.
because I remember when it popped up, she was actually a missing Mondays, if I remember right. And we talked about her, and then there was a bunch of information from the arrest warrants that came out, and I have a live out there going through the arrest warrants. However, there's been so much, and it's so many different directions things are going. From the beginning, it was confusing to begin with because of the fact that you had two parents who did not report her and were trying to point the finger at, oh, so we thought so and so had her. Oh no, I thought so. It's just been confusing from the get-go. So
Well, and then there was all the suspicion because, okay, so she wasn't reported missing until December 16th, and that was because the
mhm,
school resource officers went to their house after she hadn't come back from Thanksgiving break,
yep,
essentially. Over Thanksgiving break, Dad took a random road trip to family members. Where was Michigan, right?
was it Illinois, Chicago,
I
somewhere? Yeah,
feel like it was
somewhere up in that
Michigan.
direction.
And so
Uh,
he randomly went to Michigan or wherever from North Carolina, to go see family or whatever. And then
you guys.
mom was sitting there saying that she had no clue where Madalena was and she hadn't seen her. And um then she said that that dad had Madalena with him, but then he said he didn't. It was a mess, but then they had, like, a couch burning party or whatever, they were burning
Mhm.
stuff in their backyard, so then people were like, "Oh my god, they burn all the evidence, like, what did they do with her?" And then next thing you know, mom was talking to somebody about helping to traffic her so that she could get her out of the situation because the dad was abusive, stepdad rather. It was like a whole bunch of back and forth, and here we are all these months later, and we're still sitting here. Sorry, I didn't mean to, like, chuckle, but, like, it's
No.
frustrating because it's like we're still sitting here wondering, like, who is the cause of this and where is this child? Is she alive? Is she deceased? Is she trafficked? Did they just try to take her back home? Like, what
Right.
happened to her? And there's been no answers. It's been really frustrating.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I shared the wrong one. I was trying to find the right one to share out real quickly. And but yeah, and that's the thing. This has been nothing but confusing from the beginning. Then they got into jail, prison and all, and we're talking about drugs getting involved and things. There's all this stuff. And in the end, what was driving me crazy is everyone was forgetting why we were here, it felt like, from the beginning. We have a young girl who went missing. Okay, now we are actually talking about multiple sightings of her, all the way from California, okay, to locally in the area they were. So actually, here we go. I think that this is the right. I just want to make sure this is the one with the right. Yeah, here we go. That has all this stuff. So, this is actually, in fact, I'm going to share this article for those of you who are interested here. You can go take a look at this one. It's really an amazing article. But for going through this, we'll just start going through it and then we'll kind of stop whenever we need to. They did just unseal the search warrants and I did download it. It's like 90 something. It's like huge amount of pages. I'm going to start kind of reading through them to see what's there, but we kind of know already. We've already been told heavily. People have done that. Newly unsealed search warrants in the case of missing Cornelius girl Madalena Kojikari revealed that on December 16th, surveillance photos of a child and a man in Sugar Mountain were physically consistent with the missing girl and her only known blood relative in the U.S. A police report also indicated the pair were spotted at Lowe's Food in Linville. So from the get-go here, okay, let me ask this in chat. How many of you, put a 1 in chat if you thought we were dealing with a trafficking type situation from the get-go? I'd be interested in finding how many of you guys kind of had that gut feeling. Because I know, Sleuth, how did you feel? Did you feel like this was a trafficking type thing immediately?
I honestly didn't. I was probably one of the few. I didn't think trafficking was a possibility until they mentioned the drugs and the text messages between her and a cousin. I think it was on the 7th of December. Like it was after though that she
Okay.
had been missing. Like until they started saying all these different locations that mom had been seen and stuff though.
Right.
That was never
Right.
on my radar. I honestly thought that, and this is horrible, but whenever I found out that she had never went back after Thanksgiving break, there had been some type of argument between the parents. They were burning things in the backyard. Canine dogs had hit in the area. Like all of these different things, I immediately thought that she was deceased. And then it wasn't until later that I was like, no, I guess she could still be out
Something
there.
there. Yeah, and Seal thought they unalived her, and I think where I started going from the get-go is I just had problems with the, I thought she was with him. No, I thought, and there was all this covering up but not covering up for each other, and I don't know why I just kind of had this idea, which, okay, may not even be true here, but I thought he actually took her with him.
To
And that's
Michigan.
what was in the back. Yeah, to Michigan. That's where my head was from the get-go, and that mom was actually hiding it. Okay, but now we're finding out more. So we all start seeing, just to show you, guys, we all have our own opinions on how things happen. And then we start developing it and kind of hearing new bits of information. Jessica says, reminds you of the Wells case. Interesting, yeah. And let's see. So right now, I know there's been 3 sightings that people have been talking about a lot. We've had these 2 that are mentioned, okay, in the documents. The other is a woman came into the Find Madeline Kuchikari Facebook group and said she had seen her in California. And she did not see her with anyone else, at least couldn't see anyone else with her, but did see someone who looked very much like her. And FBI and all are saying, yes, they are following up on a new bit of information that has come in. So that I found interesting because it kind of goes a little different from what we're hearing in this other side now. But taking us back here, let's see. Quote, I think that the biggest thing, and I would certainly be interviewing that person looking for other camera video, who was he with that day, said Dr. Roy Taylor, a law enforcement consultant. Seal, I really hate using words that really aren't, well, I do that all the time. That's my problem in life is I use way too many, yeah. No, actually, I agree, Seal. I hate all this unaliving versus, you guys, come on. There's a word for it. I don't know why we can't just use what the words are, but that's my soapbox. The records released to WCNC Charlotte Tuesday after remaining under seal for months also show police intentionally housed the girl's stepfather, Christopher Palmer, with a confidential informant in jail and later seized his jail notebooks. Quote, it's a technique that's used that they put a confidential informant on purpose in the cell with the other person, hopefully to gain some admissions, Taylor
How would
said.
you like that job? To have to be housed with the dangerous criminal potentially to try to get information? I don't think I don't know. Of course, then again,
Yeah.
I would probably be good at it, but I don't know if I would
No.
want to be in the jail cell with
And
someone.
I wonder, well, a confidential informant, so is this person actually innocent and placed in there, or is this someone who's
that they
already in the jail?
maybe in just a narc.
Mm-hmm.
That's possible. Instead of
And
I mean, if you inserted a police officer, everybody around you would probably be like, "Hey, that guy's brand new."
oh yeah,
He's
exactly,
taking out like a short
exactly.
time with his military or police haircut.
So dangerous. Either way, it's dangerous as get out, okay, whether you're an informant that's a narc type thing or someone who's a police officer coming in. I mean, so, oh gosh, and all, but yeah, no, I would not want that job. No, I am very, very happy not having that job at all. So, in addition, court records show during a recorded jail call, the girl's mother, Diana Kojikari, discussed a big bag of money and withdrawing cash with her mother, and a theory that Chris gave the girl away for money. So, a search warrant returned in late December shows investigators seized 4 items from the girl's home that the courts have redacted. Oh my God, girl. I don't know if anyone else has seen these documents. It was driving me crazy at first. I first started going through them, and the first 2 or 3 pages, they were redacting things, and you could read through the redaction. And I literally, for a second, I thought everything had been redacted that way. And then, no, other things were very clearly blacked out. But for a second, I was like, oh my gosh, if now we've got people redacting things and being able to read through it, I give up. So, but, have you seen the paper,
Yeah.
you've
Might
seen
as
them?
well have been like black highlighter.
It was
What are you
ridiculous.
guys
It was
doing?
crazy.
Yeah.
And also, so let's see, redacted. During that search, they were looking for evidence of a missing person, including but not limited to clothing, weapons, bodily fluids, hair, and fiber, among other things. Here is what we can add to the timeline. Now, guys, this is why I shared this link with you. The timeline they have on here basically takes all of their articles and puts it in a matrix type timeline. It is amazing what they've done here. So definitely go back and take a look at this sometime when you can really go down the rabbit hole. In a text message on December 2nd, Diana indicated that she was with her daughter, Madalena. December 3rd, Diana was seen at a service station in Hickory getting an oil change. The attendant verified to police that there were children's toys in the car, but he did not see a child. On December 4th, Diana traveled towards the North Carolina mountains claiming to be searching for Madalena. Again, on December 16th, Madalena and a possible family member may have been spotted in Linville. So guys, all of this is happening after this girl has gone missing. We're not talking like right before. This is after that. In addition, the Cornelius Police Department was able to secure one of Palmer's old hard drives after receiving a tip from a computer repair business. The business was hired by the stepfather to replace the hard drive. It was kept at the business per their policy. How dumb. I mean, sorry, it's kind of like
that's
that.
Great news, though, for the police.
It is. Yeah, exactly. It's good when you have people who are kind of dumb, okay, making decisions without thinking and all that. But yeah. The search warrants also revealed recorded conversations between Palmer, his brother, his sister-in-law. Palmer mentioned that Diana had a lot of cash with her and he did not know where it came from. He also shared concerns about financial stuff coming up. His brother told him, "Don't worry about the financial stuff." Taylor said all inmates know their phone calls and communications are monitored and it would not be in their interest to say anything incriminating. Yeah. I don't know if it's an effort on both their parts to deny their involvement and they are both involved, or one's telling the truth and one is not. Again, it's just going to be a matter of time and looking at the financial records. Seals saying, "I do not trust that man." Oh yeah, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this that I'm just like, what? So, yeah, sorry, I probably should have asked. Yeah, are you talking about Pete and Stacy? I assumed on that one, but yeah, let's verify that one real quick because, you know, this whole case has been interesting because it's almost like they're blaming the other one, but they're also setting each other themselves up at the same time. And yeah, okay, Palmer and Pete. Okay.
They're
Yeah.
well, but at the same time, it's like plausible deniability. If you point the finger at the other person, then you're sitting there saying, "No, I didn't do it. He did it." And the police have to sit here and sort this out. But if they're both in it together, is always the other option with this plan to blame each other, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a whole thing. And I mean, we kind of seen how that played out with the West boys a little bit, with the exception of they stayed in it together the whole time. But whenever police can't prove, you know, who was the one who actually caused the physical harm and stuff, that's why they only got charged with one of the murder charges and not both, because they couldn't prove who harmed goodness.
Orson.
I think it was Orson, wasn't it?
I think it's Orson. Sorry. I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that. I'm thinking it's Orson though. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's you do run into that. And in a case like this one, we don't even, I mean, until we find her, it's going to make it even harder for them to pull all this together. And so I give it to the police for what they're doing in this case for sure, because they're really trying to pull whatever they can together. Banking and credit card documents have been seized and police are looking for any patterns or signs of activity that link back to Madalena's disappearance. Quote, "If there are any other close family members, I would have also tried to get a search warrant for their accounts," he said. So this is obviously involving more than just the mother and the stepfather. They have co-conspirators. The quicker they're identified and look at the records for any type of inculpatory evidence, information would be beneficial. Investigators also uncovered a Facebook message between Palmer and a family member saying, quote, "We are in some kind of investigation. Maddie is missing and the local police have taken all of our electronics. Luckily, I have an old phone. Although they did not take my personal computer, probably because they overlooked it. Diana is now is using it to now call her parents. This is just, you can't make this stuff up. I'm sorry. You can't, it's just, with Madalena still missing, Cornelius police are encouraging the public to continue to share her photo and her story in an effort to help find her and bring her home. Yeah, guys, because if this girl was sold, she's out there. Okay, and someone is going to see her. Someone has to see her at some point here. And the only way we're going to find her at this point is to share that picture out as far as possible. And the older she gets, the harder it is to find her because she gets older and she looks different. Chris just said, could it be someone who is trying to get a lighter sentence? It's where it's going to get interesting. Will one turn on the other? That could be very, very. I don't know. What do you think about that one, Sleuth? Sleuth may have also either fallen asleep or gone and dealt with kiddos at this point, too. So, no, I think honestly, there's a very, yeah, Sleuth, did I just hear you?
Sleeping on the job. No, I was checking on the girls. Junior woke up for a second. Oh, man.
Yeah, we were, Chris just brought up the idea, could someone be trying to get a lighter sentence? What are the chances of one turning on the other at some point here? And
I mean, listen, I feel like in most cases where it involves more than one person, somebody almost always inevitably turns on the other. It's very, very rare because eventually that self-preservation kicks in and you're like, oh crap, well, he's the one who did it. So, and I mean, and that just happens. That just happens. And until they have, but they have to be able to give the police evidence enough to prove that what they're saying is true. And that's how we get into the Michael Vaughn case, for example, with Stacy Wandra saying that this happened to him in their yard and that he was buried there. And then unfortunately, you know, whenever they arrested Sarah Wandra and went to go interview the other two guys and then dug up the whole backyard, unfortunately, he wasn't found. And so it takes the credibility out of Stacy Wandra's sentences that he spoke, and then it leaves them in a situation where they're nonstop still continuing to search before they're able to do any type of criminal charges and stuff. And so we're in the same scenario with Madalena's parents, I think, until one of them can give some type of evidence about what the other one actually did. You're kind of between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true, because unfortunately, words alone aren't going to get them anywhere. And I think a lot of times they think that's all they need is just speak up and say whatever they feel the truth is, whatever that truth is that is theirs. But it's not going to matter when it comes. This is what I was talking about here that was so amazing, is this timeline here. You basically can go to any article that they have here and look in at it. So definitely worth checking this out. Trying to think here with the rest of this. I'm trying to remember the article from reading it. And well, for those of, we have a lot of people here who are kind of new to this. So we'll kind of, we're coming near the end. What happened to her? So since Madalena was last seen, the story of her disappearance has raised more questions than answers, with conflicting dates, statements from her mom and stepfather. Kojikari claims she actually saw Madalena at home on November 23rd around 10 p.m. when she went to bed. She reportedly told Bailey Middle School officials that Madalena had been missing since the 22nd of November at noon, after she arrived at the school without Madalena. For those of you who don't remember, basically, that's when everything kind of pulled together. Okay, Madalena hadn't been at school. And they told Mom, you're coming in here and you're bringing Madalena. You can't keep telling us that Madalena is there. We expect you to come here to school for a meeting to talk about truancy, stuff like that. And we expect Madalena to be in that meeting. Well, she shows up. Madalena's not there. And that, at that point, that's where the arrest warrants and all that kick off. And if you go back to the video that I did on the arrest warrants, you get that full story. As police continue their search for Madalena, one lead that they have been looking into were reports that she may have been a victim of human trafficking. Search warrants obtained by WCNC Charlotte reveal Madalena's mother asked a distant relative if he would help with smuggling her and Madalena away. Okay, both of them are not from the United States. Okay, so smuggling them back home.
But
whatever.
do you think though, because that wasn't until December 2nd that she did that text. Do you think that Madalena was already gone at that point and she was trying to make it seem like Madalena was still there? Yeah. That's what I think.
I think so. Yeah. I think she, at that point, she was trying to make sure people thought Madalena was still there. She's trying to cover herself at this point by building this DV idea and stuff like that. Yeah, totally. Totally.
I think the
any
problem,
thoughts?
like,
Yeah.
with people who try to do this, like the whole making up these Hollywood type scenarios. The issue is that the reality of these cases, oftentimes is much, much more simpler than what Hollywood makes them up to be.
It's true. It's true.
Whenever
Exactly.
you're taking it, it's kind of like really, really blatantly obvious. I don't know.
Well, we look at ourselves, even when we start looking into cases. A lot of times we start going in all these long, rabbit holes that go deeper and deeper and all over the place. And then half the time, the answer is very simple. It's right there for us. So, Seal, her face needs to be all over where they think she has been seen on TV, flyers, even. Yeah, and if they are, God forbid, seeing her, I'm still not sure what I feel about this. I'm happy they're looking at the California one, and hopefully they'll tell us, was it real or not. But what throws me on the California one is she, according to them, was alone at that point. Up to now, all the others, all the other sightings were someone
trafficked.
Yeah,
I don't think they would have left her unattended. Not this soon.
No, not at all. So I don't know how I feel about that one, but if it turns out to be real, now she's gone across the whole U.S. So there's so many ways that she could have been seen across that whole time. So, but yeah, we need to get, I really love the idea of getting faces on trucks, McDonald's trucks as they're going across the U.S. and stuff like that. Oh gosh, I wish we would do more and more of those, to be honest. So, where did I stop with this one? If you were to, okay. She also told them that she was in a, quote, bad relationship with her husband, Christopher Palmer, and that she wanted a divorce. So she was definitely trying to set that up. According to the warrants, investigators reviewed phone records revealing, quote, extensive communication on December 2nd with that relative. That person's phone record showed, quote, multiple calls to phone numbers belonging to unidentified targets involved in ongoing T3 drug narcotic trafficking investigations. So that becomes, were they actually talking about her? Were they talking about, we know there's a drug issue going on there. We know there's some drug dealing going on there. Was that specifically all drug related? Did it have anything to do with Madalena at that point? Or just Madalena thrown in as a conversation to cover all those conversations? Possible, who knows? Chris is saying, say like a prisoner on a different case. Oh, so you're thinking, what if they are talking to other prisoners and a prisoner speaks up? I wouldn't be surprised with this couple, to be honest, if they did do something like that and spoke to someone. I really honestly.
Like you said earlier, it'd definitely be a lot safer than putting a police officer in who maybe would get called out very quickly.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So, I could definitely see something like that happening. WCNC Charlotte has learned a T3 investigation involves a wiretap of a phone. So the warrants show drugs were not found in the car or house this time, but it's unclear if they were during other searches. That information was redacted from the previous court documents. Madalena's parents have now been in custody for over 5 months on felony charges of failing to report her missing. Both maintain they do not know what happened to Madalena. Cornelius police are asking for anyone with information to please help share that information. And I'm going to real quickly bring up her poster one last time here because, guys, that's to find her. We got to share this. We got to keep sharing this. So PJ, they put an informant. Yeah, PJ, we were actually kind of trying to figure out whether or not that informant would have been someone who was also in prison or in jail for something else, or if it was someone whose job was to go in, like a police officer whose job it wasn't an inmate. Okay, that's interesting. Very interesting for that. So thank you, PJ. And yeah, I'm going to go through and try to read more of the stuff that I downloaded tonight. That's actually part of my plan for the night. So, but that's the updates on Madalena.
You're going to be reading and doing all the things, and I'm going to be snoozing.
Snooze. And then when everything starts up tomorrow in YouTube land, that's when I'll be snoozing, because
you know
that's
what?
just
And
the
you
way
said,
it works.
You said at the beginning of this we talked this morning about what, and I'm sitting there thinking it was like 5 p.m. my time.
Exactly. So, well, and it doesn't help that I sleep late. I go to bed really late, and I sleep usually about the time you're going live.
So active on Facebook whenever I went on this morning, because I didn't go live. I went live, I think at 6:30 or 6:45. I can't remember. Like, it was
which
really
would have been 12:30 my time. Yep, exactly. That makes sense. And you have no idea how many times I will be laying in bed with my iPad or my phone, and I'll see you're live, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to say hi to everyone. I'm like, girl, if you go in and say hi to everyone, you're not going to go to sleep for another hour or two.
Got stuck to this because the very first one I was doing Carly Russell, because I was like, I was just done at that point, and I had been quiet, and I hadn't really called her out or anything or done anything crazy. But then last night at like 9 p.m. the police released a statement like, listen, there was no toddler. She went and got Cheez-Its. Like, she went butt snacks for her runaway trip, and I was like, I woke up this morning, I was like, are you kidding me? So
why get Cheez-Its? We know it's Cheetos. If you're gonna get chips, you get Cheetos. That's what you. As I'm sitting here with pretzel crisps. Oh my God. Hey AJ, hello DC. Hope you're doing well. So the informant, took the evidence out of the cell. I mean, the police are doing an amazing job with this, and these people, the longer they're sitting in jail, 5 months. It's going to start setting in. It's kind of like we talk all the time. Someone after about 6 months, you get to know who they are. Well, you know what? That 6 months even, I think, would take in prison. People start realizing this is real. This is forever. Okay, it's not a vacay. And it's going to be interesting to see if they start turning on each other. Is there real information out there that can actually help them get in trouble, help them actually have trial dates set up and everything? Because right now, unfortunately, all we have is the fact that they did not report her on time and a bunch of drug things going on. So I don't know. It drives you crazy. So, but anyway, so I know we're getting late. We're coming up on 1 a.m. your time, and I don't want to keep you up forever because you got to wake up early tomorrow, right? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. No, it's not quite 1 a.m. 12, but still close enough. So
you're getting close. For me. Oh yeah. I can't wait until we get daylight savings happen again, and then there's only 5 hours. Oh my God, that'll be so nice. So, Seal's got to get a kiddo off to bed, and I am gonna go work on. By the way, I do got to show you guys these. I got a bunch of new Lilo and Stitch things. I was so proud of myself. All these really cute little double-sided ones, but this is what got me. And then after this, we'll end it. I had these really cute ones. This one says Ohana and hello. And I was so excited. Did them, and they're double-sided, so I turned them around. the words hello and ohana were backwards on the other side. And I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
oh, that does not work. So I had to figure something. So I ended up on this side, I just did real pretty little flowers. And on this one, I was like, okay, we'll give Stitch a little rainbow underneath him. So yeah, but now I got to seal him now. So I'll do that while I read everything. Oh, wait, I can't read. And yeah, okay, I'll figure that out. So, but you get some sleep. Oh, God, I give up. And I'll go see if we're getting rain still outside or not. So, but thank
safe
you,
tonight
my dear.
with the tropical storm thing you got going on. So
Exactly. Well, we're supposed to have rain for the next day or so. Ooh, someone's got a field trip tomorrow.
oh, that's
Field trips
exciting.
are the best. They are so, I love field trips. You and your daughter love Stitch. Oh my God. I got people in Hawaii love Stitch. So 90% of what I'm making right now is Stitch. I do have a few Star Wars ones. In fact, this one says Star Wars on one side and backwards on the other. So, but anyhow, I'll keep talking forever if I don't stop myself. So I'm going to finish it up so you can go to sleep, my dear. So thanks so much for joining me
Good
for
night,
this one
everyone.
today. And good night, all. Aloha and
Bye.
mahalo.